King Charles has remembered his late mother, Queen Elizabeth II, 1 year on from her death. The King released this photo, which has been described as a favourite of his mother, taken by Cecil Beaton in 1968. It accompanied an audio message in which King Charles paid tribute and thanked the nation.
We recall with great affection her long life, devoted service, and all she meant to so many of us. I am deeply grateful too for the love and support that has been shown to my wife and myself during this year, as we do our utmost to be of service to you all.
King Charles there on the anniversary of his mother's death. And in the past hour, the King and Queen have left Crathie-Kirk, close to Balmoral Castle, after private prayers and a moment of reflection on the life of the late monarch. The couple then made their way over to speak to well-wishers near the church. They included Balmoral estate staff, members of the royal household and the public. Well, with more on this, we can join royal correspondent Sean Coughlin, who's at Buckingham Palace. Sean, no doubt, as the King reflects on the life and work of his mother, he's also looking back at the last year and his reign.
That's right. I mean, today marks the first anniversary of the death of the late Queen, but also the start of his reign. And we're down at Buckingham Palace, where people have gathered in increasingly large numbers. They're paying their own tributes to the Queen, bringing flowers here. Also perhaps looking up to the balcony where both the Queen and King Charles have appeared many times in both their lives. We're also here thinking about where we were last year. This is something that has come around very quickly this year. And with me here to talk about some of the legacy of the Queen's life and also the future of what King Charles might do next is Robert Hardman, a distinguished commentator of the Daily Mail and also author of a book called Queen of Our Times. Welcome, Robert. Thank you very much for joining us. Could you say a little bit about, do you think we still miss the Queen? Are these crowds gathering here reflecting a sense of loss?
I think everybody has their memories of the Queen. She'll always be missed. I mean, she was the longest reigning monarch in our history. The key moments of her life, if you like, sort of punctuated our life. And it was really only 15 months ago we were all here for her Platinum Jubilee, something that had never happened before. So she is, in a sense, irreplaceable, but monarchy is all about stability, continuity, holding it together, and you know, the Queen is dead, long live the King.
And here we are a year later after her death. How do you think history will see her? How is her legacy shaping up?
I think her legacy is vast in the sense that she had to transform the monarchy from essentially sort of an old imperial construction, which it really was up until just after the war, and completely transform it, move it into the modern era. You look at all the things that changed on her watch, from the laws of succession, the way it's financed, the attitude, the whole way it's run. I mean, it was run by basically a sort of cadre of aristocrats when she came to the throne. And the Commonwealth had 8 members. When she died, that place is run very much like a government department. The Commonwealth's got 56 members, and we have a whole new generation of younger royals taking it on. Monarchy has to evolve. She understood that.
And how do you think King Charles, as succeeding a job which is very, very big shoes to fill, how do you think he's done so far in his first year?
I think this time last year, a lot of people predicted big trouble ahead for the monarchy. You know, they thought, well, you can't follow Elizabeth II, much as they said actually after the death of Queen Victoria. But what we see now is he's very popular in the polls compared to any alternative, you know, ratings in the sort of 60s. And I think there's a sense that, you know, he hit the ground running. He took on the job at an older age than anybody else has ever done, but he's solid. People know where they stand with him, and he's had his challenges, internal family challenges, and family challenges overseas. But you know, overall, he's done all the things that we expect of our monarch, and he's done it with a sort of slight, you know, there's a lightness of touch. Things move. It's a slightly more tactile monarch, if you like. It's a bit more transparent. We see a bit more on the TV, but essentially, it's the Windsors, you know, business as usual. Keep calm, carry on.
And if this has been a year of continuity and stability, as you suggest, do you think, as he progresses into his reign, there will be more glimpses of modernisation or changes? Do you think we will see him wanting to make his own mark on this role?
I'm sure he wants to make his own mark, but royalty doesn't do sort of relaunches and rebrandings. It's not a toothpaste, you know. It's done incrementally. It's done slowly. I mean, that's why we really never noticed when the Queen was changing things. But if you look at the monarchy at the start of her reign, at the end, completely different. But we just didn't notice it while it was happening. I think it'll be the same with Charles. It will be different, but overall, that's not going to change. The sort of global interest in it is not going to change, but around the edges, it will.
Robert Harben, thank you very much indeed. Back to you in the studio.
John, thank you very much indeed. And just to say, of course, it is a year since the death of Queen Elizabeth II, and King Charles III has been commemorating that at Balmoral. And we will be keeping you up to date with events and with a commemoration of the death of the late Queen.